Sunday, wrote Mr Kipling, and whilst sharing my exceedingly famous Bakewell tart, I remembered how, as a small boy, I had longed for a whole Bakewell all for myself. That night, my idea took shape. An individual Bakewell filled with jam. Rich frangipan, iced, and topped with cherry. Cherry Bakewells. Far too good for small boys.
Kellogg's, the original cornflakes and still the best. Golden, fresh, crispy, tasty. Kellogg's cornflakes, crispy, tasty, wakey, wakey, wakey.
Brideshead Revisited revisits YTV tonight, starting at 9:30. Jeremy Irons stars as Charles Ryder, a man who falls under the spell of the ill-starred Marchmain family. Now, though, on YTV, this afternoon's calendar news.
Good afternoon. Police in North Yorkshire have today launched a murder hunt after the body of a 16-year-old girl was found on the playing field near Catterick Garrison. Julia Harrison, the soldier's daughter who lived on the camp, had been sexually assaulted. Police say she died of asphyxiation. In Humberside, armed police have surrounded a house in the village of Welton where a gunman has been under siege for 24 hours. The village was sealed off after 2 shots were fired. The gunman has been named as 22-year-old Andrew Pulling, whose mother and stepfather live in the house. The couple are on holiday in Mallorca. A memorial service will be held at Morley Town Hall near Leeds tonight for the murdered schoolgirl Sarah Harper. 10-year-old Sarah was abducted and strangled 3 months ago. She went missing after going on an errand to a corner shop near her home in Brunswick Place in Morley. Her body was found 3 weeks later in the River Trent at Nottingham. Miners from throughout South Yorkshire turned out in their thousands for their annual gala in Doncaster at the weekend. Miners leader Arthur Scargill was among VIPs present, but was not invited to speak. 120 workers are to lose their jobs at the Rose Foregrove factory in Gainsborough. The company, which employs more than 300 people, blames redundancies on falling orders. Health officials today gave the go-ahead for a new phase of building work at one of Nottinghamshire's most modern hospitals. Bassetlaw District General Hospital at Worksop will get more than 140 extra beds at a cost of £4.5 million. 11 acres of woodland in Sherwood Forest were destroyed by fire over the weekend. The blaze in the famous beauty spot did an estimated £10,000 worth of damage, and it's thought it may have been caused deliberately. Well, that's all for the news desk now, but we shall be back with a full roundup of all the day's news on calendar at 6. But at this moment, we're now going over to ITN in London for a national news flash. So we from calendar will see you again at 6. Now, over to ITN.
The Brighton bomber Patrick Magee has been given 8 life sentences at the Old Bailey. The judge, Mr Justice Boreham, recommended Magee should serve a minimum of 35 years for the murders of the 5 people killed by the bomb. The judge also handed down life sentences to 4 of Magee's co-conspirators who planned the bombing campaign last year. The 5th, Sean McShane, got 8 years. More details in the news at 5:45. That's the end of this ITN News Flash.
Now on YTV, it's time for our first visit of the week to a country practice.